and know that you are inspired by our Metro Public School students. You are motivated to engage them, and you are here to learn more about how you can be a part of making sure that teachers and students have the resources they need to do the learning that our students need to do. And this is the work Pencil does every day. We partner with businesses, community groups, and other organizations to bring resources to Metro Nashville Public Schools. We partner with businesses to do volunteerism, mentoring, tutoring, and as a result, students engage with and learn from community members. Those community members' lives are enriched by their relationships with the students. School students have the supplies they need: pencils, papers, backpack, and we even remove barriers to attendance with our Family Resource Center work. And we've been doing this work for almost 40 years. So look out, starting in January, we will begin our 40th anniversary celebration. Through tornadoes, through COVID, we keep going thanks to all of you who have the energy and the motivation to be resources to our students and our teachers. So we have obviously shifted to lots of virtual volunteerism and engagement over the past year, and that work will continue, specifically around high dosage tutoring, which you will hear a little bit more about today and in the coming weeks. So I do want to pause a minute and say that we are joined by many MNPS staff members today: teachers, principals, administrators. So take a minute and join me in a thumbs up, high five for all of the love and energy that they are giving our students. So thanks to all of you MNPS folks. Love your commitment to our kids. And no one is more committed to our students and our families than our Director of Schools, Dr. Adrienne Battle. I am lucky enough to count her as my friend. I know she is incredibly passionate about community engagement. From her background as a teacher and a principal, she knows firsthand the value of having folks like you engaged with our students and teachers, working one-on-one or supporting an entire school or district. So I would love to invite Dr. Battle to take the stage, and I will turn it over to you, Dr. Battle.
Good morning, and thank you so much, Angie, for always providing such a very kind introduction and for your excellent leadership as well. Good morning to everyone. Good morning to my colleagues all across the district who are joining us this morning. All of our community leaders, partners, volunteers, it is so good to be with you this morning. No surprise to any of you on this call, Pencil has been an absolute rock for MNPS over the past 18 months. The organization and its many generous sponsors and volunteers have stepped up to help us navigate a whole host of challenges since the moment the pandemic transformed everyone's world. You've heard me say this before. We did not have a playbook for COVID when it started, but Pencil helped us write one, and I cannot thank them enough for that. Just a couple weeks ago, we gathered more than 1,000 of our teachers at First Horizon Park for the Together for Teachers event to celebrate teachers and their work and to give them tote bags full of supplies they'll need this school year. This is exactly what Angie was just highlighting. Pencil made that possible and made it happen for all of our teachers all across the district. Pencil's logistical know-how and organizational firepower have made a huge difference for our students and teachers. As we continue to work to make sure every MNPS student is known and every student is on a path to success, Pencil will continue to be a top partner to MNPS to make that happen. I've visited at least one school every day of this new school year so far, and on some days, many schools. And I am very excited about what I've been seeing. Students and teachers are back in classrooms. They're happy to be teaching and learning in person, and they've gotten busy quickly. But they can't do it alone. We need community partners in our schools, reading to our students, and serving as role models. And so I'm excited to share a new and important way for you to support our students, which is Accelerating Scholars. Through Accelerating Scholars, students will receive high impact tutoring through an innovative partnership between MNPS, Pencil, and BrightPath. Our goal is to connect thousands of Metro Nashville Public School students with a trained tutor and learning coach, many of whom will be volunteers like you, to create an even more personalized and positive learning experience for our students. Through one-on-one tutoring with a trained, supported volunteer, we will boost skills, confidence, and academic outcomes among students who may need a little extra help and support. So please sign up with Pencil to be a volunteer. We need you. Our students need you, and our teachers need you, and are looking forward to partnering with you. So again, thank you all for stepping up for our students, our teachers, and our families by investing in Pencil. Now it is my complete pleasure to introduce Robert Fisher, Deputy Chief of Staff for the Mayor's Office. Before he joined Mayor Cooper's team as the Senior Advisor for Education and then as Deputy Chief of Staff, Robert was the Director of Strategy and Innovation at Shelby County Schools in Memphis, where he managed a portfolio of district-wide change initiatives. And Shelby County's loss has been Nashville's gain, because Robert has been a fantastic addition to the education community here in Nashville. So please join me in welcoming Robert Fisher.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Dr. Battle. It goes without saying that in the Mayor's Office, we have just enjoyed the tremendous partnership with MNPS, but have been especially thankful for your leadership in what has been a very difficult and challenging time for children and families. But as everyone on this Zoom call can attest, Dr. Battle has been a steady hand and a source of calm for so many. So thank you, Dr. Battle, for your leadership. Good morning, everyone. Again, I'm Robert Fisher. I have the pleasure of serving as Deputy Chief of Staff to Nashville Mayor John Cooper. And on behalf of Mayor Cooper, I extend a warm thank you to Pencil, and a thank you to everyone on this call for everything you do on behalf of young people and their families. I won't be before you long, just will share a couple things and allow the program to move along. The first thing I want to say is, in the Mayor's Office, we are so excited for the new school year. We know that the year will not be without challenges, but again, with Dr. Battle's leadership and the resilience of our students and families, we are looking forward to a successful and safe academic year. The second thing I want to share is the importance of community involvement and Pencil's role in facilitating that involvement. We know that so many of the factors that affect student success can happen outside of the classroom. And so organizations like Pencil and volunteers and leaders like folks on this call play a tremendous part of creating the conditions for success for young people. And every way that you can show up to enable young people to enter the classroom as their full selves, prepared to learn, is a valuable asset. And so to Dr. Battle's call for volunteers, I echo that message and encourage you to help out however you can. The last thing I'll say is, in the Mayor's Office, we have a couple education priorities. One of them is supporting our educators. And this past budget cycle, we were able to invest overall $84 million in Metro Nashville Public Schools. $50 million of that went to make Nashville's teachers the best paid public school educators in the state. The average teacher saw, yeah, a round of applause for that. Thanks, Angie. The average teacher saw a raise of roughly $7,000. And we know that we cannot pay our educators enough for all of the work they do to cultivate and encourage our students to be the leaders of tomorrow. But for Mayor Cooper, it is an incredibly important priority that we communicate just how valuable their contributions are to our kids and to our society. We will continue to work with Dr. Battle and her team to find ways to invest in educators. Beyond that, we will continue to find ways to address some of those out-of-school factors. We were fortunate to invest $24 million to ensure that every student in an MNPS got a laptop. And that has created an incredible platform to think about what a new digital future might look like, as companies like Oracle and Amazon enter Nashville and expand, as smaller companies like NTT Data Services bring more and more services here. It's an opportunity for young people not only to be a participant in the economy of the future, but to shape it. And so we are eager in thinking about ways to capitalize on our investments and take advantage of the business community's interest in supporting our young people. So again, thank you so much for everything you do for students and families. It is an absolute pleasure to work with so many of the folks on this call. And we are again looking forward to an amazing year for students, teachers, and families in the year ahead. Thank you.
My name is Norman Merrifield. Angie refers to me as fearless, but I have plenty of fear at times. I am the Pencil Board Chair. I am a former MNPS school teacher and a current MNPS parent. So I'm very honored to be here with you all this morning for our back to school virtual breakfast to celebrate the incredible work of Pencil. Many servant leaders have made the virtual back to school breakfast possible. So let's start by thanking them. First, our 2021 presenting sponsor, Elliott Davis. Thank you to all the people at Elliott Davis that have contributed to the back to school breakfast and making this another spectacular event. And of course, our in-person event host, Belmont University. Thank you, Belmont, for all that you do for Pencil and Nashville. Let's move to our principals list sponsors. First, Burr and Foreman, LLP, Citizens Saving Bank and Trust, Ryman Hospitality Properties, Southwest Airlines, and Stantec. And our generous teachers list sponsors, you will see them featured on the screen. Thank you for your dedication to Pencil, the students, and the teachers. We are all honored to serve. Of course, thank you to Dr. Battle and her leadership and the MNPS family for the work that you're doing. And of course, we have to send a special thank you to the back to school breakfast co-chairs. These folks invest an incredible amount of time and energy and innovation into making this event happen. Stephanie Bonner, Kaysen Davis, Jalita Greenhill, LaShawn Greenhill, and Shannon Sullivan. Thank you so much for your work and dedication. It is truly appreciated by Angie and the Pencil team and MNPS as well. Because of them, our dedicated table hosts will get to celebrate back to school events with at least 500 community members this year. So thank you very much. I am honored to introduce Jim Schmitz, the Nashville market leader for Elliott Davis, our back to school breakfast presenting sponsors, and having a chance to collaborate and hear from Nashville business leaders is a huge asset that Pencil brings to the K-12 and the public school space. So thank you so much again, Elliott Davis. Jim oversees the market expansion efforts for Nashville and surrounding areas by proactively integrating, fostering, and managing the firm's business and community engagement initiatives. So please give us a warm Zoom virtual welcome for Jim.
Thank you, Norman. I appreciate that kind introduction. This past year, Elliott Davis celebrated 100 years of serving customers in the Southeast, providing accounting, financial, and advisory services. Over those 100 years, we have also helped countless members of our communities through partnerships like the one that we have with Pencil. I can't think of a better way to help improve the lives of people throughout Middle Tennessee than by supporting the students and educators of Metro Nashville Public Schools. Providing support through Pencil is a perfect way to meet the needs of today to help create a better future. Our path to economic prosperity for all of Middle Tennessee is built on education. The path of our youth to a better life is through education. Our path to a better and brighter future is through education. Elliott Davis is proud to do our part with Pencil through today's breakfast sponsorship, as well as the volunteer hours that our employees and interns have spent helping Pencil do its good work. We encourage you to get involved too. The Elliott Davis team in Nashville stands ready to assist you and your companies with our accounting and business advisory services in a partnership, much the same way we partner with Pencil. So enjoy your virtual breakfast this morning and help support the good work of Pencil, and have a terrific week. Thank you.
Thank you again, Jim and Elliott Davis, for your generous support and dedication to serving MNPS students and teachers. Now, if you know Dr. Battle, she starts all of her engagements with welcoming celebrations, and it is my pleasure to present the 2021 Ingram Award, named in honor of Mr. Bronson Ingram this morning. Bronson Ingram believed that harnessing the resources of the community and business partners to support public schools is essential. Not only was he instrumental in Pencil's founding, but his company, Ingram Industries, has been a proud Pencil partner since the beginning. In fact, Ingram is a dedicated partner at the incredible Napier Elementary School. Each year, the Ingram Award recognizes a community partner whose leader provides outstanding support and engagement to Metro Nashville Public Schools through Pencil. This year, we are honored to present this award to LP Building Solutions. LP is a leading manufacturer of high-performance building products headquartered here in Nashville, Tennessee. In 2006, LP leaders approached Pencil to create a teacher resource center. And from LP's seed investment, the LP Pencil Box was established to provide Nashville public school teachers with school supplies free of cost. Since its inception, and with the annual investment from LP, the LP Pencil Box has grown exponentially. In January of this year, the LP Pencil Box surpassed $10 million worth of all-time supply distributions to Nashville teachers, a remarkable milestone considering the program's small beginnings. This is definitely something we should all be honored to celebrate. So please, please, please help me welcome the Chief Information Officer and Vice President of LP, Mr. Don Walker.
Thank you, Norman, for that kind introduction. And thank you, Pencil, for honoring LP Building Solutions with the prestigious Ingram Award. You know, I've had the honor to work at LP for over 20 years. And over that time, I've seen LP and the LP Foundation do tremendous work, but none so tremendous as the LP Pencil Box. We have a very straightforward motto at LP, and that's do the right thing always. We apply this to all areas of the business, including how we think about the communities where we operate. Our employees are our greatest asset. So we believe in doing what's right for them, and that includes supporting their hometowns. When LP moved its headquarters to Nashville in 2004, we began to look for ways we could support our new hometown. Company leaders at the time understood that our community needed a collective effort to ensure no student is hindered by the lack of supplies. And thanks to Pencil, we were able to make that happen. In its first year, LP Pencil Box distributions totaled over $25,000 worth of supplies to teachers. As Norman said, by the end of the most recent academic year, distributions reached $2.5 million. Phenomenal. We know that when we invest in our public schools, we're investing in our community's most precious asset, our young people. This is why we're so proud to have supported teachers across the Nashville community for the last 15 years through the LP Pencil Box. I can honestly say that helping to create the Pencil Box is one of the LP Foundation's proudest achievements, and one that I've been honored to support in my role as a Pencil board member. So thank you for the kind recognition.
Thank you again. You never know as a teacher that you need a supply sometimes until it's too late. So having the Pencil Box is a huge resource. And I tell you what, there's a dry erase marker can feel like $1 million when you are delivering incredible service to students. LP is a Pencil partner that has truly contributed to MNPS in a long-standing and meaningful way. Without LP, there would be no pencil box for our teachers. Bronson Ingram's grandson, Mr. Hank Ingram, will be presenting the award tomorrow at the in-person breakfast to Brad Southern, LP Building Solutions Chair and Chief Executive Officer. And we will be announcing an exciting dedication as well. Pencil's work is possible because of community partners like LP and Ingram Industries, who invest their time and treasures into helping our students be successful. We've invited several guests to participate in Pencil's work and to share their stories with you directly this morning. We're calling these mini panels our impact sessions, and we're excited to introduce you to some of the students, teachers, business partners, and district leaders who we collaborate with to support Metro Nashville Public Schools. At the conclusion of each impact session, a Pencil staff member will take questions from the group for a short Q&A before we come back together. In about 15 minutes, feel free to participate and ask questions or just enjoy your coffee while you listen, learn, and collaborate with our incredible partners. Some of you will be staying in the main room while others will be divided into other sessions. For those of you going into other sessions, you will receive a pop-up to go to your session. It may take a second, but don't worry, you will get there. We hope these stories will motivate you to get involved with our public schools. Great things are happening. Dr. Battle, great things are happening. We thank you so much and your team so much, and the students. And we can see it. Our Pencil partners can see it, and we cannot wait for the entire world to see what Nashville is bringing to K-12 leadership.
So, hi everyone, good morning. My name is Caitlin Binstead. I am the Pencil Partnership Intern this summer. So the partnership team works to connect community partners with different ways to support MNPS schools and students. And there's so many ways to get involved. One of the big projects I've been working on over the summer is with the Proudly Pencil virtual video series. And that gives partners and volunteers a way to support students virtually. So I'm so happy to be here today and to introduce you to some really special folks. They're the reason that we do what we do. So I'll do a quick introduction and then we can talk to them more about their stories. So first we have Dr. Jennifer Berry. She is the Director of STEAM, that's Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math at MNPS. We have Julie Burbilia. She's the Education Specialist for the Metro Nashville Water Department. We have Rosie Forrest, the Director of Community Engagement for Oz Arts Nashville. And we have Ella Marie Sullivan. She is the school's program manager with the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. So I have some questions to ask the panelists, and then if you all have questions, we'll have some time for Q&A at the end, or feel free to put any questions you have in the chat. So let's see, my first question is for Dr. Berry. Can you just share more about your role as the Director of STEAM and how you work with Pencil?
Sure, we'll do. Well, good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to say thank you for having us here. It's always so exciting to chat about STEAM and the work that we're doing in the district. So I just want to say thank you for having us, and thank you to all of our partners for being with us today. So we're excited to share some of that STEAM work. So kind of to begin, I always want to kind of like, what is the reason? Why are we here? So what is the purpose of that STEAM work? And it's really to accelerate learning for all students. We're trying to attract them into STEAM disciplines early in their academic careers and positively impact Nashville's economic future. So there's kind of two guiding principles to this work. One, you cannot be what you cannot see. And two, background knowledge matters. And so what we do within our work is really try to focus in and bring in student experiences that provide a background background knowledge, provides opportunities for them to connect with partners around Nashville. And so that work is really vital because students are getting the exposure that they need to become interested in STEM careers and STEM potential opportunities. So one of the ways that we work with our partners is something through STEAM expeditions. So an expedition is a field trip with a purpose. And so at no cost in 19 elementary schools and 17 middle, students receive experiential learning opportunities. So they go on field trips, there's pre-work, there's day of work, and then there's post-work. And that work directly relates back to state standards. So what they're learning in the classroom. So we're trying to eliminate, why am I learning this and when will I ever use this information? So that's kind of some of the ways that we work with our partners, and Pencil really helps to facilitate that relationship.
Great, thank you. And then for the partners, could you just describe your relationship with Pencil and how you got involved? If Julie, Rosie, or Ellen Marie wants to jump in, go ahead.
I'll jump in this morning.
Thank you.
So we've been very excited at Metro Water to work with the Pencil Foundation. It's really helped us to focus what we do. You know, we can, our job, of course, is water related and not school related, but we want very much to be involved, as Jennifer Berry was just saying, with making sure that kids can see their future, and part of their future in a sustainable city is sustainable jobs like working in water. So it's really helped us go from a scattershot approach of trying to reach schools to really be able to focus in on what we're doing and make these great contacts with STEAM and other teachers and other valuable partners.
Great. I'll jump in. Hey, everyone. It's so great to be doing these things and see Dr. Berry and Julie. You know, we start to see our friends in different panel sessions around the city. So that's really a joy. So I work with Oz Arts Nashville, which is a contemporary arts performing arts center on the west side of town. And in fact, we are right down the street from Pencil. So our collaboration began geographically. And then when I began at Oz about 3 years ago, I met with Bob Kutcher, and we were just sort of brainstorming how could Oz and Pencil work together. And I was sharing with him my interest in arts integrated learning and thinking about getting away from the one and done model that so many arts organizations, I think it's just been part of our past. And Bob said, you've got to join the MNPS STEAM initiative, the advisory council. And I think through that and working with Dr. Berry, we've been able to really identify where's the need, what can Oz do that's different and unique compared to other arts organizations that are doing wonderful work. And then of course with COVID and thinking about the shift to virtual, working with Bob to see what of our STEAM integrated video activities with our teaching artists, we started to build a library. What of those could be shared with the Pencil video library so that it could have the widest reach possible? So Pencil is just my go-to for how do we extend our reach? Where is the need? How do we navigate an MNPS system that is necessarily complex? And they've been really an invaluable resource.
Great, I'm Ella Marie Sullivan. I am the school programs manager at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. At the Hall of Fame, we serve students and teachers from across the United States. My role specifically is with Tennessee students and teachers, whether that's on-site field trip experiences or professional development, helping provide resources, primary source resources for students and teachers. Of course, a big audience that we serve and an audience we continually want to grow are our Metro Nashville Public School students. What's wonderful about the objects we have on display and the narrative of our museum gallery is that we're telling a Nashville story. So we're really talking to Metro students about where they're from and what has happened here and how people all over the world know where Nashville is, know where they're from, and what does that mean. So a little bit of that injection of hometown pride kind of undergirds what we do, as well as alignment with the standards. I've been at the Hall of Fame since 2017. Our organization's relationship with Pencil dates back before me showing up. It was actually difficult to find the person who was like this was our first contact because it's just so integrated in what we do, especially on the education team. Pencil helps us really deepen our relationships with Metro schools. We are able to connect with other folks in the work like Julie and Rosie. Great to see you guys again. And there's a level of accountability that Pencil provides. They help us facilitate relationships with high school students in the academy model, and actually provide hard data, which is really helpful in how we look at those interactions and solidify them. Knowing that we're able to accommodate elementary school students and middle school students on site and doing field trips, but at the high school level, that's always been a harder connect. So Pencil really helps facilitate that in a more meaningful way. So excited to talk more about STEAM though, and how we're connecting with Metro students that way. Great to see you, Dr. Berry.
That's great. Thank you so much. So the next question I have is for Dr. Berry. Can you share an example of how a Pencil partner has supported you, and what impact did you see on the students?
All right, well, I'm going to kind of go back to that STEAM expedition. So where our students are receiving 2 field trips per year at no cost to the student or the school that really deepen their understanding of what they're learning in context, in real world context. And we had a student who was, I believe we were visiting Country Music Hall of Fame, and the students were doing kind of their exploration for the day of event. And the student turned and said, "Best day ever." And so that is powerful, right? Because that's the action or reaction we want. We want students to remember. We remember experiences, right? And so that's why they're so important for changing how students view their education, and that there is context and that there is meaning and there is a purpose behind that. So to me, when you can hear a student say "best day ever," you've been successful. So yeah.
That's amazing. And then for the partners, so Rosie, Julie, Ella Marie, could you talk a little bit about your involvement with Pencil and MNPS, what that entails, and how you support the STEAM initiative?
Yeah, I'll hop in since we started with that experience. So we have loved being STEAM expedition partners. This is something that since the program started, like even in the planning phase, was so exciting and very inspiring. We understand that country music is like not very cool or not necessarily interesting to everyone. So we try to select points of entry that are accessible to students, but also interesting and entertaining. And STEAM has provided a great opportunity for us to do that. So we were a STEAM expedition host for 3rd grade and for 8th grade. We devised 2 different programs that align with their standards, but they also are providing a look at careers. I think that's something that is really important and valuable, because when you think of working in science or working in tech, you don't necessarily think of working in a recording studio. So by taking students, 8th grade students, through historic RCA Studio B, we not only are showing them wave properties and how they manifest like in real time, but we're also talking to them about what a producer does or what a music arranger does. So adding really that STEAM element to that art or creative career. Yeah, we're thrilled. And then with the pandemic, the ability to transition into a virtual space, because we had those program materials already built out, there was a really smooth transition. And then Dr. Berry and her whole team are so collaborative and positive, and it really helped us still maintain that connection even when we had to go to virtual.
All right, so we've worked with both Pencil and MNPS STEAM in a lot of different ways. And, one of the things we found is, or one of my struggles, I'll be honest, is to say that the performances that Oz offers, occasionally we'll have something that's family friendly, but in general, we're not doing programming for K-12. So trying to figure out, okay, what is it that we offer? What is it that we do well? And then finding the right fit for that. And so working with Dr. Berry, working with Tiffany Griffin-Minor, one of the things we found is that we can really serve MNPS by doing special opportunities. So when a school has reached out and said, we are looking for, we have a morning and we have a couple of hours and we're looking for something that hits at visual art, but maybe in a community art project. then I might get a call and the question is, what do you got? So then I start by working with our teaching artists, and usually I'm bringing in different teaching artists depending on the needs of that project. We have a collaborative conversation about what it is that where their expertise lies, what does the school need, how many students are we trying to serve, and then how can we kind of pack in something that feels meaningful, where we're getting at the individual expression of the student, we're getting at the community of the classroom for that student, and then we're getting at the community as a whole for that grade or that school. So those levels, and then bringing in some aspects of technique. So it's not just an arts and crafts project, but are they also able to understand the science of color and the science or the technology behind the kinds of paint that they're using or the construction materials. So they're seeing it from a fuller or bigger perspective. That's just one example. I could talk for hours on this.
Amazing. All right. Well, Julie, if you want to add to that, and then I will open it up to the room for any questions they have for the panelists.
Oh, absolutely. So first of all, I just want to say, Rosie, I want to sign up for one of the elementary special opportunities with Oz. That sounds like so much fun. But with Pencil, and again with Dr. Berry and the STEAM folks, one of the really great opportunities we had this summer was we hosted some of the teachers from Overton Engineering Academy for the first time for an externship. And I have to say I was quite nervous about offering this to begin with, because I really just had no idea what was going to happen, but it was such a delightful time with these teachers, and it made me so much appreciate the amount of information that they have to take in, condense, put together with all their standards, and put together with all of their amazing logistics of every day. It just made me tired hearing it, but really appreciating how much thought those teachers put into crafting not just one lesson, but an entire semester experience for their engineering students that involved, get this was so amazing, it involved, of course, an engineering teacher and a math teacher, but also an ancient history teacher looking at maps and geography. So this ability to get together with all of them, the fact that externships like this are provided for the teachers and are supported by the school system, it just makes me very, very proud to have this school system and to have this partnership with Pencil right here in our community.
Thank you so much. All right, does anyone in the room have questions for our panelists? I think we have a couple minutes before we have to go back to the main room. So you can unmute yourself and ask, or you can put your question in the chat.
Good morning. Janet Worth, I have a quick question for you all. New to this area, new learning about Pencil. It sounds like just an amazing organization and just doing wonderful things. With regards to the field trips that the students take, so you said all of the students are allowed to. Do actually all of the students partake, or is there a selection criteria, or is based upon interest, or children who are not necessarily showing interest? Are they just kind of pulled along for the ride to hopefully get them encouraged and interested as they see? And I think you spoke to this maybe, that there is capability for virtual field trips as well. So if you just speak to the selection and participation.
Sure. So it's every student in every grade level, grades K through 8 in the 19 elementary schools or 19 elementary and 17 middle schools. And so what we do is, so it's every 5th grader from every middle school will have the same experience regardless of what school they are at. So it is by grade band. And again, it goes back to, directly back to the state standards that they were learning at that time. So it's very intentional and purposeful for the experience that they have. Yes, we do have virtual experiences, and we had planned to be virtual for this fall because most of the students we serve are under the age of 12. Safety always comes first. So we said we would hold them virtually for the fall. Spring, we're hoping for in person if possible. Most of our bring experiences are all outdoor, which also helps facilitate that. But we're kind of also looking at cost analysis of, that social distancing, et cetera. So we're hoping for in-person. That is our goal. We really want our students to see and experience instead of just going through the virtual platform.
Thank you.
Yeah. Great question. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much to our panelists. You all were fantastic as always. I will see you all back in the main room.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I see folks popping in. Let me give everybody just a couple more seconds. There we go. All right. Okay, this feels like a pretty good start for us, and others will be popping in as needed, but I think for the most part, this is us. So good morning. My name is Sandra Harris. I'm the Grants and Content Manager at Pencil. I've had the pleasure of being a part of Pencil's work since 2009 and all Pencil all the time, as I like to say, since 2012. And my work currently focuses on just exactly that, grants and content, helping to tell Pencil's story. Prior to that, my work focused on partnerships, which is where you guys come in. So that partnership work focused on the Southwest quadrant of the district. So if you're familiar with Metro, or if you're not, if you divide Metro along I-65 and I-40, Northwest quadrant, that is where my work focused. So that's Overton, Hillwood, Hillsborough, and the feeder schools there. So from that work, that informs the work that I'm now doing in grants and content managing to further tell our story and meet folks like you to speak into that story. So this session is about elementary partnerships, and in particular, how it relates to literacy and the reading program, how we support reading initiatives in the district. And we have an expert in that reading engagement from the school side, and I will let her introduce herself. And also we have another expert on the business and partner side who may be familiar to you, our president and CEO, Angie Adams. But we're going to speak about what those reading initiatives look like, and we encourage you to ask questions, put those in the chat. And also, if you have a question as our guests are speaking, feel free to put those in the chat or raise your hand, and we will certainly hear from you. So I'm going to hand off first to Patricia to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about what she does, and then to Angie, and then we'll get into the conversation. So let's start with Patricia. Welcome, Patricia. Let's tell our guests a little bit about you.
All right. Thank you, Sandra, and thank you for the opportunity to share this great opportunity for volunteers. I'm at Tom Joy Elementary now. I was previously at Warner, and so I've actually been working with small group instruction for 20 years through my role as reading specialist and interventionist, which I am right now, retired 120-day person. But the experience has been tremendous. And so I fully support the Reading Partners program and would like to share that, and would like to let volunteers know what a unique opportunity this is to change kids' lives. And we all know how important literacy is, just because we use literacy every day. Kids need that same experience. They need to feel good about literacy, and enable them to do that. We have to guide them in their reading instruction and their growth. So the Reading Partners program here at Tom Joy is set up actually in my room, and I'm in my room now. So if the intercom starts making noise, I may have to mute myself, Sandra, because I don't want y'all to hear all that. I think it's going to be a little bit late today. But instruction is one thing, one component of Reading Partners. Another is relationships between the tutor and the child. And the other is the confidence that is the benefit to both participants, which would be the child and the tutor. So I could tell you a little bit, Sandra, and the people who are listening, about the importance of listening to children read. I know if you have children of your own, you know how special that is to a child. So in school, if a child is pulled into my room and has a one-on-one tutor, then that child gets all the attention. The distractions are taken away, and the child gets to read. And we have either reading books on their level, or the teacher provides reading material, or the child picks something to read. But it's something that they can read successfully. As you listen to the child read, great opportunities emerge, because you hear things that the child may have some problems with. Maybe decoding is a problem. You also might hear the child hesitate on sight words, words that need to come quickly to cause fluency to be smooth. You listen for these things as you listen to the child read. You also might pick up on comprehension. Does the child understand the story? Does the child put the story sequentially in order when they finish reading? So things like that are all part of what you're listening for as the tutor, for the child to be able to handle as they read through a passage.
Yeah, and Patsy, I'm going to put a pin in that thought, and we'll circle back around and come to that, because I want to hear from Angie to introduce herself and speak to her volunteer side experience.
Okay.
And then we'll have that interaction between the two of you and our guests to kind of really fill in that picture. So Angie, if you would please introduce yourself and how you relate to the reading program.
Sure. So I never feel like I can ask someone to do something I'm not willing to do. So in all of my time with Pencil, I've always served as a reading tutor. So I will say that I have loved the excitement on my little people's faces as I've come to their classroom. And just like Patricia said, they get so excited that you were there just for them, and they get to just be your person for the next half hour. So I will say, when things shifted virtually, and MNPS asked us to still engage tutors to do virtual elementary literacy, I was quite suspect. So I signed up to also be a virtual tutor this past spring, because again, I don't feel comfortable recruiting someone to do something if I'm not sure that it is a good system. And I will say it was rewarding to me emotionally and personally to engage with my second grader via Microsoft Teams. And again, like, just to see the smile on her face every week when our teams connected and we were there together. She clearly loved that time. She struggled with comprehension, so she could zip through words, but even when she didn't, she would just hold the book up, and it actually, like, she was so good at it. She'd hold the book up to the camera and say, "What's that word?" Or she would spell the word to me. So it was really fascinating to me to watch a second grader navigate virtual technology so seamlessly. So, we would work through the book, and then we would have a dialogue about the book. And that's where she struggled. And that's where I saw the growth in her development over the spring semester, was just having that opportunity to actually talk with somebody one-on-one about what she had read. So it was just as rewarding virtually as it was in person. So I know some volunteers have been hesitant to engage virtually. So now I have no hesitation in terms of saying yes. I think you, as a volunteer, you get your needs met, and the student certainly appreciates it just as much as they have in person.
I agree. Thank you, Angie. I myself have had the pleasure also of serving as a reading tutor, both virtually and in person, and I agree. Once we made that shift to virtual, my first thought was, how is this going to work? But let's jump in. And it was such a pleasure to see my student and see those eyes light up whenever we had our time together, and to also witness her success. We began with her wanting me to read more, because that SEL, the social emotional learning component, is an important part of the tutor relationship. So when we began, it was important for her to know that it was a safe space, and that if she wanted me to read, I was happy to. When she was ready to, she could. So the first two sessions, I'd say, I read most of it. And then by the third session, she would chime in, "I read it." And then I never read again. And it was perfection. So that relationship building and supporting that student success was so critical. So I can see Patricia nodding her head, and I'm going to hand back to Patricia to speak to us from the school side again and see what it looks like for the school side to interact with tutors and then to interact with our students. And then also, as we continue, please feel free to ask questions. So Patricia, back to you.
Thank you so much for those testimonies, because that's the experience I have. And I'm an observer, because I have small group instruction in the same room with the Pencil partners, and I can watch the relationships being built. I can also watch the dynamics. And I do not go down the hallway at Tom Joy School without children stopping me. When are the pencil partners coming back? So, I mean, that happened last year during the virtual experience. It has happened already this year. I'm promised you're coming back. So hopefully everything will fall into place this year as it should. And like you said, the personal connection is an amazing thing to experience because the kids depend on that experience. And I'm glad that Angie mentioned the comprehension, because sometimes you think reading is mechanics. It's not so much, it is mechanics, but it's also understanding what you read. And that's just half the battle, or more than half the battle, for children to get comfortable with their thoughts on a story. That one-on-one gives them the opportunity to give them a voice. Sometimes in class, they're not the kids that raise their hand. They're not the ones that want attention drawn to them because they may not be extremely confident in their reading. They may not want to read in front of others, even their teachers sometimes. And they don't want to answer questions because they're not sure they're going to be right. So when they come in this safe place with a tutor who they know is not going to be critical, going to listen, then that builds that child's confidence to the degree that they can form sentences, they can form responses, and then they can try them out back in class. And so the growth that occurs in that is instrumental in the child gaining confidence to be a good reader. And so, yes.
Patsy, I just want to give everyone a heads up that we're under the 5-minute mark, and I will let you continue that thought in just a moment. Also want our guests to understand that you as a volunteer tutor will be trained. So you will be going in prepared, whether in the virtual space or face-to-face, training is provided. And in fact, I will put my email address in the chat so that you can reach out if you're interested in the program. And I will let Patsy continue and know that we're about 3 minutes away from switching back to the big group. Go ahead, Patsy.
Yeah, thank you, Sandra, for saying that, because that's one reluctance I've seen on the part of volunteers that I've talked to on the phone or emailed with, that they're not sure they're ready. And you don't have to be ready. We will prepare you. Sandra will prepare you. I will prepare you. There'll be people who are experienced with reading, experienced with children, who will guide you through this journey. But the end result, after about 2 visits with the child, you're totally on board. I've never seen anybody say, hey, I don't think I'm going to do that anymore, because they always want to do more. And we have pencil partnerships at Tom Joy with 2 churches, and they have been so good to come in and work with us. And we visit the churches sometimes to build relationships with those people who are interested. And then we kind of pave the way to them coming into Tom Joy. So I also want to say just briefly that I'm on the assessment team here at Tom Joy. We started assessments yesterday. We are going to need a lot of help this year, because the assessments are indicating early on that the kids have lost because of the experiences last year. They've lost some of their, the instructional piece to their educational journey. And so we need a lot of support. They do, we do. So hopefully this will be a big year for volunteers to get involved and to give the children the support that they need.
Mm-hmm.
Sandra, do you mind if I jump in a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I will say that I want to just quickly touch on some specifics so you can ponder and think about sharing with others, because I always think that there's great power in your being a messenger for this message. So the commitment for the primary literacy model that MNPS wants to move forward is 3 virtual sessions a week. So 30 minutes, 3 iterations a week. I think about when I used to read in person, it was 30 minutes once a week, but the travel time to get to and from the school meant I was spending over an hour. So I think, 3 30-minute iterations just doesn't seem like that much of a commitment. Your engagement with the student would start after Labor Day and would end right before Thanksgiving. But if you wanted to come back next semester, I'm sure we would love to have you for 2 semesters, and I'm sure your student would too. And that is sort of the magical time frame at which nationwide students have proven huge results over a 10-week, 3 times a week session. So you and your same student 3 times a week during the school day for 30 minutes. So just want to toss that out there, as well as the need for 8th and 9th grade math assistant. So I'll put both of those sort of nuggets out there for you to ponder.
And just know that when you start hearing about this new reading and math intervention, you'll hear it referred to as HDT, for high dosage tutoring. So that's a new piece to the alphabet soup that is surrounding MNPS, but just know that when we're speaking HDT, we're talking about high dosage tutoring, which means that higher frequency of engagement with our students. Does anyone have any questions before we are whisked away into the larger group? And if no questions, Patricia, do you have any more to add, any more to share?
Just the fact that it works. I witness it, I monitor data. That's one of my jobs, has been for several years, to watch children's growth. And the growth is going to occur much more quickly with all the supports that we have. And I offer support, the teachers do, but the volunteers are a piece of the puzzle that just is so meaningful in every way. So I really support this and hope that we have a lot of volunteers to sign up.
Me too.
I'll say too, one of Dr. Battle's huge focuses is every student known. She said that phrase earlier. And certainly this is a way to make sure every student is known personally and feels supported. You know, I think it's tough for a teacher to have that personal connection with 25 students in a classroom. So if we can go in and provide some support to individual students, that's a huge, meaningful gift. And really tells them that education is important and that community members are willing to give of their time because that child and their education is so important.
Angie, just one comment. You just said something so important about the class sizes. When a child is in a group of 25 or 26, those individual needs are sometimes very hard to plan for the teacher and may not even recognize because the child may find other strategies to overcome or to hide some of their deficits. So that one-on-one takes away that large group experience and provides just what that one child needs. And that's so important.
I see the prompt says your session will be ending shortly. So I always like to share with folks that every year I manage to be with the best student in Metro, no matter which grade. So hope you get to do that too.
Hello, everybody. I'm not sure if everyone has entered our breakout room, but we only have so long. So let's go ahead and just get started with our breakout session. I'm Elena Kate. I am a partnership manager at Pencil, and I work primarily in the Northeast and really closely with my friends at Maplewood, which is what we're going to be talking about today in our session. I'm happy to introduce some of our Maplewood colleagues and friends. First, Tiffany West, Pencil's Family Resource Coordinator based in Maplewood High School. Dana Morrow, he is the HR generalist at Stansel Electric Company and a dedicated Pencil partner. We can call on Dana for just about anything. And lastly, I want to introduce Academy coach from Maplewood, Brent Dean. And Brent, I would love for you to introduce our additional panelists for the morning.
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Today I have with us our two ambassadors, Miss Allison Baylor, who is a junior at Maplewood, and we have Miss Elizabeth Castillo. She's also a junior from Maplewood.
Fabulous. Thank you, Brent.
Absolutely.
Let's see. So thank you all for joining us this morning, and thank you for your interest and continued dedication to Maplewood High School. I will go ahead and just open it up for some questions for our panelists. So Tiffany, let's start with you as our FRC or Family Resource Coordinator. Please share more about your role for everyone who may not be as familiar.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Tiffany West, and I'm the Family Resource Center Coordinator here at Maplewood. And in my role, I serve as a liaison between community members and organizations in the community and the school to connect those community members and organizations with the school to provide needed resources and connections for our students and families to help them to be successful. You're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you. And so how do community partners support you in your work at Maplewood?
So most recently, last Saturday, we had a back to school bash. People help in a variety of ways. They volunteer, they donate supplies or goods for us to do the things that we do for our students and families. Coming up, we have the holiday season. So last year we were able, through the support of community partners and volunteers, we were able to bless close to 100 families for Thanksgiving with Thanksgiving meals. And then we did about 65 families for Christmas last year with gifts and also meals. So that would not have been possible without our community partners and dedicated volunteers and donors who have a heart for Maplewood and our families.
Beautiful, amazing. Thank you, Tiffany. I will say for everyone, we'll have a chance to ask more questions and open it up to the group. But next, I'd like to go to Dana Morrow, who I shared was from Sansol. And Dana, would you mind sharing more about your role at Sansol and how your work with Pencil and MNPS supports Maplewood?
Yeah, it's technically I'm called an HR generalist, but that doesn't explain what I do here. I'm in charge of our technical training. I have oversight of our apprenticeship program, and I'm blessed in that I get to be the face of Sansol at Maplewood High School. It gives us a great opportunity to interact with the students. We do job shadows, guest speakers. We provided donations of classroom supplies, things like that. It's really nice to be able to interact with students and help make them aware of the career opportunities that are available in the construction industry. Not everyone is bound for college. So our structured apprenticeship program is a great opportunity for students to get post-secondary education outside of the college arena and build a really good career for themselves. It's amazing to work with the students. When I first started, I had a skewed impression of MNPS because of what I saw. I only saw the bad things that happened. But there are so many bright, engaged young people at Maplewood High School that it's really a joy to just interact with them. And I'm looking forward to being able to get back in the classroom this year. We've had to step away from that for a while. To get back to that is going to be awesome. And to be able to work with Pencil and Mr. Dean at Maplewood and all the students is just fantastic.
Thank you, Dana. I'm sure the students can't wait for you to get back into the classroom as well. I would like to also ask you, Dana, what motivated Sansol to become a Pencil partner in the first place? And then how does that benefit you as a company?
Well, it all goes back actually to the founder of the company, Mr. James Stansel Sr. When he was a young man, his father passed away and he had to drop out of high school. So he never finished high school. And when he was 71 years old, I think it became our company policy. You had to have a GED or a high school diploma. Mr. Senior went to night school and got his GED. So education has always been important to him. And that just became part of our company culture. Our company purpose is grow our people, serve our customers, and build our community. So getting involved with Maplewood and MNPS helps us fulfill our company purpose. And it gives us a possible pipeline for employees. We have hired several graduates from Maplewood. We currently have, I think, 5 former Maplewood students working here. 2 of them are in the apprenticeship program currently, and others are working on other career paths here. So that is one of the big benefits for us, is just getting good people and good employees.
That's awesome. Thank you. And last question for Dana, what do you enjoy most about being a Pencil partner?
Working with the students, working with the young people. Like I say, it's amazing. I'm always impressed with the student ambassadors. their level of professionalism and the way they present themselves publicly is amazing. It's something I would have never been able to do when I was a junior or a senior in high school. I would have been much too nervous to be a student ambassador. But to see them grow those skills is awesome. And just, like I say, having that one-on-one experience with students is the best part of the whole thing.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Dana. I'm going to switch over to our Academy coach, Brent Dean. Brent, please share a little bit more about your role as an Academy coach and your work with Pencil.
Got you. So again, I serve as the Academy coach for Maplewood, and my main priority is to work with business partners to implement that experiential learning model that we have here in Nashville. So when it comes to field trips, job shadows, internship opportunities, I work with partners to make sure that our kids take part of those opportunities because the goal is to enhance the secondary school experience. And so, as Dana mentioned, we are in constant conversation of how we're going to do that for our kids. And because we've done that, you know, as Dana mentioned, we've seen success with our kids, and we've seen the route that they decided to go with Stencil, as with other partners. So it's a pretty busy role, but I enjoy the work.
Speaking of other partners, share some stories about how Pencil partners have supported Maplewood and the impact that you see on some students.
Gotcha. So Dana stole one of my stories, so I have to just go to another. But Pencil had a hand in the healthcare partnership that we have with St. Thomas, now known as Ascension Medical Group. Everyone knows, if you don't, you can Google it. Maplewood has a community clinic. It is Ascension Medical Group clinic at Maplewood, which is open to the community. And so again, Pencil had a hand in that, and that clinic is able to support not only the community, but our kids are able to use that establishment as well. And so when it comes to, you know, students using it, we don't want any obstacles to learning. And so it's just really a blessing to have that available at this school. And so it's a whole lot more, but I don't want to take up the whole 15 minutes.
Thank you, Brent. Yes, let's actually go ahead and move on to our most important panelist of the day. Brent, can you bring in our student ambassadors and
sure will
start some questions with our friends here?
Absolutely. Ladies, could you please tell us what academies you are a part of and your pathway to?
My name is Allison Baylor. My pathway is, well, my academy is entrepreneurship and innovation. My pathway is cosmetology.
My name is Elizabeth Castillo. I'm in the Academy of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and my pathway is automotive.
All right, sounds good. So we see that we're in schools, a lot going on, but it's okay. So Allison and Elizabeth, can you all share with us what business partners have you seen or worked with in the past?
This summer, of course, with you, I gave a tour to the Pencil partners. We did that. This summer, I also worked with Belmont, and of course, my sophomore year, it was difficult for us to get with partners. But I remember my freshman year, I also worked with TSU and Geodis.
This week in automotive, we had our partner Bridgestone and Pencil come to our school, and they gave us supplies, and they talked to us about Bridgestone and many opportunities that we have with them being in that academy. Also last year in my sophomore year, we had a career fair virtually with Geodis, Bridgestone, and other groups. And then our freshman year, we took a career fair, and we also had a STEM fair at our school.
Nice, good stuff. Appreciate that. So let me ask, with all of those experiences that you've received, what would your plan be for post-high school?
For me, post-high school is kind of confusing, but that's why I also like the fact that we do get to work with the partners, because like working with Belmont, even though I'm not really sure whether or not I'm going to be going to college or whether I'm going to be going to a trade school or just no school at all. You know, they helped me kind of figure out if college is what I want to do. They let me get that experience.
Love the transparency.
Since I'm in the Academy of Entrepreneurship, I want to be my own entrepreneur. I want to start a business for my mom, being like the food business, since she has that amazing Hispanic flavor. And also, I want to go to college. I want to get a bachelor's degree in business and communication. I love how we have so many opportunities and they teach us like different things and what's at our hands and stuff. I'm also an AVID, and we talk a lot about college and how to get college ready.
So when it comes to transforming the secondary school experience, why is it so important for partners to get involved with you all?
For me, I think it's most important because we are the future. You know, being in high school, it's really just like preparing you to step out into the real world on your own. So when those business partners come into the school and they say, this is our business, this is what we do, we can get you a job shuttle, we can get you an internship. It's really just helping us get that extra step on the ladder so we can be prepared when we go out.
I totally agree with Allison. She couldn't have said it any better. And I also like how they are able to talk to us and interact with us, giving us different opportunities, because most people don't know what to do after high school. They get stuck. You know, when we're little kids, they'd be like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a firefighter. But later on in life, we figure out all these different things that we like.
Panther Nation.
After announcements, it looks like.
Yep. I'm sorry, did y'all finish, or ladies, did y'all have something else you want to add? Because I got one more question for you.
Oh, you can go to the next question.
Oh, okay, well, let me go. What advice do you have someone looking to volunteer or support Metro schools, namely partners?
Partners, I would say, you know, we're also part of our SGA. So, you know, we do it all. So being the president of our class and communicating with the students, they just love fun stuff, you know, and making sure that it's something fun and interactive. Like all the kids, they always say that like virtual, that was the main thing they disliked. They hated that they couldn't do the hands-on activities. They couldn't sit face-to-face with someone and talk what they needed help with. So just making sure they get in the school, meet the students, talk to them, you know, do more things like the career fair in person, do more things like the STEM fair in person, because, you know, we do enjoy things like that.
Thank you, Allison. Elizabeth, you have anything for us?
You repeat the question?
Sure, no problem. It is, what advice do you have someone looking to partner with Metro schools or partners who would like to contribute to the work?
We're always open for opportunities. Students, it's always helpful to learn about different things. The more knowledge you have, the better it is. And especially when people come to us with friendly hugs and smiley faces, we love that because it gives us a warm welcome.
Sounds good. Thank y'all so much. Ms. Selena K, can I turn it back over to you?
Absolutely. I do know that we only have a minute or so left, so I will spare you any lengthy closing remarks from me, but I would like to open it up for everyone else in the room to ask questions to Brent, to Tiffany, or to our students here, or even Dana. Any questions for our Maplewood crew? Sessions will be ending shortly, it says at the top. Well, make it quick if you've got questions. I'm just looking in chat. Awesome job, ladies. And thank you to Dana. Absolutely. Thank you, Dana, for speaking and agreeing to join us this morning. Thank you, Brent and Tiffany, for also joining us this morning and representing Maplewood. And thank you, Elizabeth and Allison, for skipping the Pledge of Allegiance to talk with us this morning.
So here we go again. For those that may have been pushed into a different breakout room, thank you for being with us. Ryan, good morning and welcome. I'm going to do some brief introductions. First of all, I'll start with myself. My name is Bob Kuchar. I'm the Vice President of Partnerships and Programs at Pencil. I'm excited to say that I will celebrate my 7th anniversary next Wednesday at Pencil. And I'm also excited to tell you that 26 years ago, I moved to Nashville from a small town outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to be a teacher at Pearl Cone High School. 26 years ago seems like it has flown by. So just grateful to be here with some really phenomenal people, and specifically with Brittany Edmondson and Ellen O'Neill. Part of my work at Pencil is to work with our business partners at the academy level. So a piece of my job is to work with academy coaches and the 300 plus business partners that support the Academies of Nashville experiential learning model, and also get to work with really great academy coaches like Brittany Edmondson. And so with that, I would like to take a moment to ask Ellen and Brittany both. Ellen, the scholarship partnership program specialist at HCA being one of the founding partners of Pencil many, many years ago. But Ellen, let's start with you. If you would do a quick introduction of yourself and how your role at HCA intersects with Pencil.
Great, thank you so much, Bob. So as Bob said, I'm the scholarship program specialist at HCA Healthcare and the HCA Healthcare Foundation. And as part of my role, I get to really dig into our Nashville education initiatives, which includes our wonderful partnership with Pencil and with MNPS. So I really get to lead that partnership. HCA Healthcare is in 5 different academies. We are in the Overton IT and the Overton Health Science Academy, the Cane Ridge Academy of Health Management, the Hillwood Academy of Health Sciences, and one of our newest and most exciting partnerships, the Pearl Cone Academy of Health Sciences and Personal Care as well.
Thank you, Ellen. Brittany, could you introduce yourself? Speak to your role as an academy coach and how you also intersect with Pencil.
So good morning, Bob, and thank you. Welcome everyone this morning. I'm so excited to be here. I'm Brittany Edmondson. I'm the academy coach here at Pearl Cone High School. And the way that I connect with Pencil and with our partners is to make sure that our students, number one, build networks so that they know what the real world is as far as their career choices, but also those connections when it comes to mentorship. Working with Pencil is so exciting because they help make sure that I'm able to be intentional when it comes to our partnerships, but also when we need additional supports here, I can reach out and they're going to answer the call. So excited about our new partnership manager, Hamid, as well. He's already come in and done great work.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you so much. Brittany, let's take a chance. If you would, please introduce our most special guest this morning and give them a moment to maybe talk about their academy experience at Pearl Cone.
We'll keep it muted for 1 second. So
yeah,
let me mute him. So this morning, I have with us 3 of our senior students. I've seen them since they were freshmen, and now they're here in their senior year, and I've watched them grow. I have Omarion Walker, and I'll let him further introduce himself, Seth Thorpe, and Miss Cadence Word. So you all can come off of mute and introduce yourself and tell your story.
You got it first. You got it first. Yes. My name is Omarion Walker. I'm a senior at Pearl Cone. And this is Seth.
Hey, my name is Seth Thorpe. I'm a senior at Pearl Cone. Not my first high school, but I think I like this high school the most.
Hi, my name is Cadence Word. I'm a senior and I'm in the health science pathway.
As well as me, I'm in the health science pathway as well.
And I'm in the recording industry pathway.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you guys for being with us today, and stay tight because I believe that some of our guests have some questions for you in your high school academy experience. Brittany and Ellen, I want to go back to you guys and would love to hear more about the most recent development in the project that ProCone and HCA have put together for the students in the Healthcare Academy. And so, Brittany, can I start with you?
Yes. This is my favorite story to tell. I think it is one of my most favorite endeavors. So just to give you a little background, this is going on my 3rd year at ProCone High School, and fourth at ProCone High School. When I first came to ProCone, we didn't have a health science academy, but Meharry's right in our backyard, and we knew that Nashville was the hub, right, for healthcare. And so we started on that journey, and on that journey, we added Dr. Cynthia Waller from Nashville State to our steering committee and our advisory board. But we also added different people from HCA who not only were invested in coming to ProCone and making sure that students had those real world experiences, they were ProCone alumni. So that truly made a difference. And so in doing that work, it was very important that our students had access and stackable credentials that gave them an entryway into the workforce. And so for the past year, Dr. Waller has shared our story to whomever she could, and I would send her updates. And just so happened that Ellen and Farrell Thomas from HCA reached out to Dr. Waller and said, hey, we've got this idea. And Dr. Waller said, I've got the perfect school. And she reached out to me and said, hey, I need you to put some things together so I can give them the background to the students. And we got to work. And so what happened was this amazing patient care tech program that took into consideration all of the barriers that may have prevented our students from attending and being successful in the program. So that included transportation, tutoring, getting there to the school to actually, after work. And so with taking all that into account, we set off on a journey with 17 students, 14 of them being from ProCone High School and 3 of them being from Maplewood High School. And this is what you saw. You saw students who rose to the occasion. They showed up because, number one, they knew that there were people there who believed and supported them, but they also showed up for themselves because to know that you can do something, even when they had not been exposed to that particular work, it really made a difference. It just really transcended our students as they matriculated and prepared to graduate just 4 weeks out from completing that program. The most exciting thing and the thing that is so profound is those students, as they rose to the occasion, they were offered jobs within that 3 weeks. Some of them offered 2 positions at different hospitals, and they continue to reach out, and our students continue to take advantage of this program. I believe they're on their 4th round of cohort students, but I'm so excited that our students at ProCone High School, started the way and lit that torch and continue to carry it. So thank you, HCA, Nashville State Community College, and all of your hospitals that have opened their doors to our students. It truly makes a difference when we're talking about breaking those cycles and positioning our students for success. And again, using those stackable credentials to enter the workforce. So thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. Ellen, as a founding partner of Pencil, you support MNPS in a variety of ways, obviously, but looking at this most current relationship that HCA has developed alongside ProCone, when you think about the end results that you would like to see, that HCA would like to see, could you speak to the panel a little bit about what that vision looks like?
Definitely. Yeah, I think it's just the connection that we have so many talented students coming out of the academies, and how can we on the workforce side be ready to accept them. So I think, like Brittany said, it's taking down whatever small barriers were between the two, but the academies set students up so well for success. So on the workforce side, we want to be ready to accept them and be ready to get them. We always say that we are helping the future healthcare leaders of tomorrow. The seniors of today are going to be our coworkers, and just even the summer after their senior year. So want to make sure that the workforce and the schools are always working together to make sure the students are supported during their high school experience, and then we pick them up as the businesses to support them through their future careers.
I'm getting a notification that our session is actually almost coming to a close already. That was fast and furious. But before we are pushed back into the main room, I would love to go back to our student voice. And to any of our students with us this morning, if anyone would like to share kind of a really uplifting moment of an experience that you may have had during your high school academy career with a business partner experience, we'd love to hear that.
My favorite experience was my sophomore year. We took a field trip to Nashville State, and I remember they took us to the side where we were able to see like what nurses do. We were basically in like, it was like a simulation type thing with like mannequin dolls and stuff. You know, they would make noises like regular patients, and we could see all the equipment, and we were able to touch things and, you know, just learn, you know, what nurses do and how to greet a patient and how to take care of them as well.
Great experience that Nashville State provided to you. You said that happened in your sophomore year, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, would you like to share an experience with us that you've had?
My sophomore year as well, we went on a field trip to Meharry, and we got to see cadavers and stuff like that, and be hands-on with them, and like as far as like looking at them like this from the book and just putting it together type of stuff.
And also my sophomore year, my experience. Mine was a little bit different from them since we're not in the same academy. But most of my life I struggled with having a speech impediment, so I wasn't able to speak like this. You know, if you would have caught me my freshman year, I could have never talked as the way I am now. But I remember speaking to Mr. Caldwell. He works with us in the recording industry, and he said, don't look at the disabilities, speak fast, and to say the words you do. Work on it and make it an advantage, make it an ability. And so that just gave me a different kind of confidence and had led me to the path that I am on now.
Three beautiful stories, and it showcases to the business partners the importance of providing experiences outside of the classroom for young folks to see things different than what they would see in their classroom. So thank you all three for sharing that. Brittany, Ellen, final thoughts before we get pushed back into our main room?
Listen, I want to come back, and I cannot again just impart upon you the difference it makes for you to show up, for our students to know that there are people who haven't even met them that truly want to see them be successful, that can see the potential in them and are willing to open their doors to give them those real world experiences, but also to stand in the gap when it comes to instruction, literacy, you know, in the academic classroom as well. Those supports are so important. And I've seen the mentorships grow beyond the classroom. Just yesterday, one of our partners, Rashad, took Amarion to the Titan Stadium for the training camp. Those relationships matter. So you volunteering and just showing up and being a part of this movement is so important. And I promise you, this right here is where you're going to see that return on investment immediately. Thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Pearl Cone students. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, HCA.
All right, I think we're back, and now I'm up, but I'm going to take a page out of Angie's book, and I'm going to dance a little bit while people continue to file in. While I do that, I want to say thank you, give a real quick thank you to the leadership of Pencil and for all that they've done for putting this event on, and to the sponsors that have put their name and their money behind such a fabulous organization. It looks like we may be where we should be in terms of people returning. So I'll go ahead and get started. My name is LaShawn Greenhill. Welcome back everyone to this session. And I am a co-chair along with my fabulous wife, who you will see here in a few minutes for this inspiring event. And I'm a proud Pencil board member. Not only am I a proud Pencil board member, but I'm also a proud MNPS graduate. 1996, Glencliff High School, Go Colts, is the school that I graduated from. So We all just left some sessions with some student ambassadors. In my session, we had Sarah Anderson, Yvonne Hussein, and Nazareth. I didn't get his last name, but I will tell you this. What we heard and what we learned through our ambassadors was very inspiring. One thing, the recurring theme that we kept hearing was support. Support from the community. And you already showing your support by being here today. And that's what they continue to ask for. We're in a pandemic, and as Adrienne Basil said earlier, no one had a playbook for this. So the level of support that they're going to be seeking today or in the future may be different from what we are giving them now. Just know that your support is what they're looking for. Very often I'm asked, why do I support Pencil? I mentioned a few minutes ago that I am a graduate of MNPS. And it's because of MNPS that I sit here in front of you today. I can remember teachers back to Mr. Hester, my Johnson Elementary kindergarten teacher, or Miss Lawson, who worked with me at Glencliff Elementary, staying after school to help someone like me learn how to read, or Miss Gilly at Glencliff High School, who took a young man like me in Business Professionals of America to the national competition. It's because of teachers like that who believed in me as a young man, as I say here before you today, asking you to support those ambassadors we just listened to. They are the future of our city. It is my hope that after what you've heard this morning, that you're moved to join me in making an investment of your own. Now, they've told me that our goal is $7,500. I think that's too low. I'm going off script here. I think $7,500 is too low. I think we can do better. But you see in front of you where we are right now. So $7,500 is what we're looking to raise. But with your help, I think we can cross this finish line and achieve more. Everyone, please take out your phones. You should have just received a text message to donate. If you didn't, register by texting BTSB to 243725. Let me repeat that. Text BTSB to 243725. If everyone joining us gave $50, we could easily meet this goal. Me and my wife have personally committed $500, and I'm asking at least 5 other people to do the same thing. Did you know that for every dollar that you invest in Pencil, they return 3 back into the community as an investment? That's volunteer hours, mentoring, or tutoring students. Free supplies to teachers, so no student lacks the tools they need to learn, and linking students to support services for food or housing so that there aren't any barriers to attending school. Any gift you make today will support Pencil's critical work in this back to school season. But if you're interested in a longer term impact, I invite you to consider becoming a sustainable member of Pencil by becoming a monthly donor. For example, $10 a month supports 1 Metro classroom with school supplies for the entire school year and ensures that you're included in all Pencil communication and many special events. You can use the link in the chat. I think it should have just been posted in chat. You can use the link in the chat if you want to set up your commitment. No matter how you choose to invest, we thank you so much for valuing Pencil's work to support students and teachers and joining our very motivated hands-on community. I personally want to say thank you for getting up early this morning, joining us for a fabulous breakfast, virtual breakfast that is. I know some of y'all may be there tomorrow. Like I said, this is an organization that supports those 3 teachers that supported me. I'm asking you to personally to support this organization so that MNPS students and teachers know that there's an organization out there that cares for them.
Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for coming to this morning and supporting this organization. As Sean mentioned, we are both MNPS graduates. So I started at Warner Elementary before it was a magnet school. So I started there, didn't have a lot. My family joined the Nashville community, and I didn't really have a real strong network. But I will tell you, I was loved, the community embraced me, and I was fortunate enough to go to magnet school and then to Hume-Fogg Academic High School. And I will tell you, I am currently the Chief People Officer, hello, this is my son, for the Murphy Hoffman Company. And it's only by the education that I received there and the people that I networked with in the community that really came alongside me and made that happen. And Pencil provides that opportunity. I was sitting in on the session around STEAM, and the opportunity that these companies are giving to students is essential for our next generation. And so by contributing today, you're making that happen and making that possible for them to see themselves in jobs they never thought possible. And sitting on this seat today, knowing that we're having shortages of talent and skills currently, but we anticipate that happening in the future, it is imperative that our students get the learnings and the skills that are necessary for them to be in roles that can, contribute to wealth for their family and change generations. That's what you're doing. I'm the first generation in my family to go to college. And so it's changed the trajectory of that young guy that you just saw join in a second ago. So it's tremendously valuable. So I hope you learned a lot today about this great organization. And if you already knew about it, I hope you're going to make your commitment even stronger going forward to ensure that it continues to impact the lives of not just the current generation, but future ones to come. There are 3 ways you can volunteer with Pencil this fall, and I encourage you to consider 1 or maybe 2. Consider training to become a high dosage tutor. You'll spend time every week with a Metro student who needs extra support in literacy or math. And we know if you can't read and if you can't do math, you're very limited in what your aspirations can be. Sign up to help teachers shop and sort inventory in our LP pencil box supply store. You heard about LP's contribution this morning. It's tremendous. When I work for another organization that actually is a sponsor of this event, we started that for that organization, and it was extremely valuable to those students to receive supplies that they would not have been able to have before. Or create a video content that students can access on our new Pencil Connect platform, sharing your career experiences and expertise. I think someone mentioned it earlier. If you can't see it, you can't be it. It's so important for people to understand the careers that are out there and the opportunities that are there for them. So consider one of those 3 ways to volunteer in the future. And finally, I would say, please save the date for our totally unique experience as a principal for a day on Thursday, October the 21st. Information detailed in the chat, and we'd love to have you join us for that. Before we say goodbye, I would like to say one thing. So as you may know, LaShawn Greenhill and myself, we're no longer in the Nashville community physically, but this organization and MNPS means a lot to us that we will continue to support no matter where we are in this country, because we believe in that community and we believe in Dr. Battle and what she's doing for the city. And it truly is a city movement. It's not just sending kids to school. These will be our future workers. These will be our future leaders. So continue to invest there. We have an exciting announcement. So if you have not contributed yet, this may get you over the edge. Thanks to our friends at Southwest Airlines, you have an opportunity to win 2 round-trip airline tickets. Isn't Southwest the best? I travel them every time I have to do a business or a fun trip as well. There are 2 ways you will have a chance to win. 1, you can make a gift today at any amount. So a gift at any day, at any amount. My husband is a salesperson, so of course he's telling you we can do better than what we did before, what the established goal is. So contribute today. Or two, you can share something you have learned about Pencil on social media by tagging us at Pencil for Schools, Pencil, the number 4, schools, and using the hashtag Pencil101. Again, that's Pencil at Pencil for Schools, the number 4, and using hashtag Pencil101. This can be on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Just make sure you do it before 5 p.m. tomorrow. Pencil staff will draw 1 entry at random and notify the winner by the end of the week. So great opportunity. I wouldn't miss out on that opportunity to win 2 round trip tickets. So with that, thank you to our sponsors, our speakers, our table hosts, and thanks to all of you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.